Thank you, Peter. And I'd also like to start off just by acknowledging that I'm based on the lands of the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation and pay my respects to their elders past, present and future. So welcome everyone today to our CLAANZ annual conference. And I'd like to start by acknowledging the very generous contribution of Arnold Bloch Liebler in kindly providing this room and the refreshments that we have today. We really appreciate your support for the conference, and also you would have seen a number of speakers from Arnold Bloch Liebler unpacking some of the issues that we're going to be looking at today. In terms of format, this is a hybrid event, so there are a number of us who are lucky to be here in person, but there are also people listening in online. For those listening online, generally, please use the Q&A function for posting questions. But for the Minister's address, we're giving you the special dispensation to use the chat function so the Minister can see all the questions that you raise. So people online can just remember chat function for the Minister, but otherwise, please put your questions in the Q&A function, and the chairs of the sessions will then make sure that we ask some of those online questions as well as questions from the room. So our topic today is charity regulation 10 years on, and we chose this topic because we're about to come up for the 10-year anniversary of our Australian federal charity regulator, the Australian Charities and Not-for-Profits Commission, and in New Zealand, they've just gone past the 10-year anniversary of the incorporation of their Charities Commission within their Department of Internal Affairs. So it seemed a good time to reflect on the past decade. And in Australia, that past decade has really seen a series of legislative amendments and changes to administrative practice as sort of outworkings of the introduction of a federal charity commission, both at the Commonwealth and the state level. So we'll be unpacking what some of that means. We might even think about the lack of case law and whether that sort of is in part due to the lack of ATO test case funding anymore to get cases to our highest court. In New Zealand, the last decade has really seen a rush of Supreme Court and Superior Court cases that start explaining what the concept of charity means, as well as almost a half decade of modernising their charities legislation. And so we'll hear about that as well. But it's probably useful to remind a bunch of lawyers that the law is not everything, and that the last decade has also seen quite a lot of social and cultural change as well. And so you would have seen from the program that we've really tried to stress that today also, because the law impacts on social and cultural norms, but is also shaped by them. And so we've tried to be a bit conscious in this program of thinking about how well does charity law respond to that, and perhaps how should charity law respond to some of those changing norms. So given the time, I think I should stop talking really. I've welcomed you to the conference, and what I will do is hand over to Sari Baird, who is going to chair our very first session looking at First Peoples and charity law. Sari, it's a pleasure to welcome you. Pleasure to welcome you and your panel, and I will hand over to you. Thank you.